Hey, welcome back, everybody. We have more randomizer action for you today. The second match of the day coming up here between Moose and Dedew. My name is Voligen, and I'm here to bring you this matchup along with my friend Ozzy. Ozzy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. All things considered, it's going to be a long, exciting day for the Ori Randomizer tournament. We got several matches coming up after this. So, that said, let's go ahead and discuss these two runners specifically.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'll start with some quick background about both these runners, and then we can talk a little more depth. Moose, as far as we know, is very new to Ori and the Blind Forest Randomizer. He is a pretty experienced speedrunner. Has done some other games, notably Celeste. He has a 32 in that. And for his part, Dedu is an incredibly experienced Ori player. He has been playing both the speedrun of the game and also the randomizer for quite some time. Always places highly in the weekly races. So this should be a pretty interesting matchup in that, honestly, we don't really know what to expect today.
Well, if a randomizer really can't expect too much, but what we can expect to learn is what Moose's style of play is going to be. And I'm very interested to find out.
I agree with that. Moose is again brand new, really unknown to our community, but obviously, has been around the block a little bit. So it'll be very interesting to see. He kind of came out of nowhere to sign up for the tournament. It was like, oh, we've actually never heard of you before, but that's awesome. Please come join our tournament. And so we're going to get to see, what he's going to show us today. And, on the other side of the equation, to do is a very strong player. So I expect we're going to see like a very strong showing from him today, as usual.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see if Moose, knowing that he is going up against a more seasoned runner, is going to attempt to do some trickier stuff. What kind of knowledge of the randomizer he has, and I'm very curious to see what he has able to acquired in terms of skills and knowledge of this game.
Yeah, I mean, we actually it's so weird. It's so weird having absolutely no knowledge. Like, not even, has Moose not participated in the tournament yet so far. He is in both the singles and doubles divisions. His doubles match is coming up just a little bit later today at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It's actually against my team. But uh, otherwise, he has never streamed the Ori randomizer as far as I've seen. He's got no highlights. He's never participated in weeklies. So literally the only thing I can say about him is how much we don't know about him, which is everything.
Maybe it's calculated. He wants to remain anonymous.
I mean, hey, he could come out of nowhere and just be like, look, actually, it turns out I've been playing offline for like 4 weeks and I'm actually really good at this. Surprise.
I
That would be
secretly
great.
have the sub 28.
Yeah.
No, but we poke fun, but really we're just excited to see what happens.
I mean, honestly, being in the position of a newer player yourself, obviously, you picked up the randomizer not too long ago in the grand scheme of things, and you know, assuming that the experience has probably been somewhat similar from Moose, what was one of the harder things that you kind of had to deal with as you learned to play Ori Randomizer?
Uh, wait, I think I hear a game starting in the background.
It does appear
Or
that we're getting started.
yeah, uh, I don't see anything.
It's all good. We will be getting going as Dedu and Moose are both getting started here. I see a color shift enabled on Dedu's side, but and we can address that topic that I just brought up over the course of the race. And here's our first pickup. It is wall jump, Ozzy.
Well, this is going to be kind of your typical starting if we're going to see any keystones here in a second.
And as always, wall jump opening up the path into Blackroot Burrows as well. So different possible options open to both of our runners. I love this play by Dedu where he, intentionally gets hit by the Rhino and he collects the 9 XP from that to set up his XP count a specific way here.
Yeah, it's something I thought about doing before too, because that little, if you can get the experience points necessary to go into Barrows and have that one ability point to skip the cutscene, it's worth it.
So for now, we're going to pick up Spirit Flame, and Dedu and Moose are both going to Altar out of here and head on over to the left with their wall jump, pick up those keystones. I've always been curious to see if someone would just, get wall jump and just immediately go to BRB. Forget these other two pickups that are literally free. Just go straight into BRB.
I mean, if you really wanna,
You got to do it sometime, right?
well, maybe it's just like a social experiment.
Just see how much you control the people watching on the stream. Oh man. All right. So we came up with
Yeah,
one keystone, and then the other one was a 50 experience pickup. So Dedu got his level up, and he also gets a bit more XP from fake flippers, but it does look like BRB is the play.
yeah. So we're gonna be making our way in, and they're gonna go ahead and do the save anywhere glitch in order to skip the cutscene coming up here. But to kind of go back on what we were just talking about before the race started, as a newer player, there's certain things I definitely hope to see from Moose that when I was first learning turned out to be huge. Like like I think one of the number one things you should learn as a newer runner to this game that's going to save you so much trouble is Zombie Ori and reverse Frankie Walk.
Yeah, those are both really, really good points. We'll see if that Frankie Walk you're referring to in the Blackroot area comes into play. Often you're hoping not, just because it's so kind of tedious to do. And we did see Moose make use of Save Anywhere to skip that cutscene, so clearly has been doing his prep. He knows his stuff, and he's right here along with Dedu inside Blackroot Burrows, collecting 61 XP from this orb here. I'm already really liking what I'm seeing from Moose. He already looks like an experienced rando runner.
Yeah, so far I haven't seen any signs of him like even making the casual like, oh, I'm just being clumsy and getting hit everything.
Yeah, this is that's really promising. Like it shows you like he's been putting in work. Like clearly has been practicing the game. Doesn't matter if we haven't gotten to see it. He's been putting in the time and effort, and it's already showing here. As he is again, he's right next to Dedu. Dedu got a slightly better cycle on those platforms, so he's just gonna be getting up to this roof XP a little bit more quickly. Or actually, he'll light the lantern first and probably do the roof a little bit later.
No, he's going for the roof right now.
Okay, so we'll see what's up here, and it is Forlorn Teleporter.
Don't they have a map stone too? No, they don't. Oh, yeah.
Not yet. Not yet, Ozzy, but probably soon.
Yes, and everybody that is intimately familiar with Forlorn is very excited to see that pick up.
Oh,
No!
wow. That
Th-
is... Wow.
that is an extremely unfortunate death. That's gonna cost him about a minute, really.
Yeah, that was a very uncharacteristic death from Dedu. Again, we talk about what an experienced player he is. It's just very surprising to take a death to that laser. Usually it's kind of an automatic thing for most runners of that skill level,
And
and that's
he
probably...
abandons Forlorn TP. He's not going back for it.
I mean, he knows it's there, so he can always go get it if he needs it. But that is an interesting choice.
It's no problem. Just come back when you have want to go get Dash Plant. It's okay.
But yeah, just to briefly complete that thought, it's possible that he kind of, autopiloted a slight amount on that skip, which is pretty much automatic most of the time. Oh, same problem again, but this time he doesn't die, Ozzy, at least.
Yeah, he just feels even worse about it.
Oh, so it's a rough start for Dedu. Meanwhile, wow. Okay, so it's a bash grenade seed, and Moose is immediately going to put bash to good use. And you see he's already experienced in double bashing and how to make use of this technique. And he's going to bash his way back up to the platform with bash in hand, and he will head on into the boulder section, and we'll see what he's going to find over here. But wow, this is a very interesting seed already.
Yeah, but I think we both have a lot of personal opinions when it comes to Bash Grenade Seeds Villagin being controller players.
No, of course not. I'm a purely neutral observer, Ozzy, and I have no feelings whatsoever regarding Bash and Grenade. We do should note that with Bash and Grenade, you do have the option to check the dash plant above the dash tree, and Moose did not opt to do that. He did get the Gumon seal from the Raziel No XP that he just collected a moment ago, so that's great.
Gumon Seal, got Bash Grenade, have Forlorn TP.
You know, with that forlorn to he gets nicked by the Frankie there, and that's just enough to unfortunately take a death. So he'll just have to redo the boulder roll one more time, and it's not that huge of a deal.
Yeah, I don't entirely blame him for forgetting about the dash plat. We all forget about the dash plat. In fact, I'm pretty sure we all would like for it to just not exist.
You're not wrong. Dedew will remember to give it a quick check, so we're gonna see what's in it. Moose continuing further along, picking up. Okay, there's just 6 XP from the dash plant, and Moose picks up, I believe, an energy cell from the health cell here in Blackroot. Does not have a map, so map stone, so he can't check the map, but he does get extra air dash, so that's very nice.
Yep, if we
Well,
can find dash, that'd be a nice pickup.
yeah, exactly.
But he's got enough keystones, so he's going to head on left, which I don't entirely blame him. Oh, that's right. He is going to check the grenade door up here in Glades.
Yeah, actually taking a quick look, I'm seeing he's oh, in fact, he's even doing the Frankie walk first, I think. Oh, he got his Frankie to kind of jump into a bad spot.
I
But
don't
yeah.
think he can get it out without just going up there. So you're going to have to grenade bash your way up if you want that Frankie.
Yeah, so this might be where we're seeing like he might not have had an opening exactly like this before. He does manage to get the Frankie down, so that's really nice, and he's going to take him for a walk, and he'll be able to collect the XP at the end of this path.
Yeah, I think we've all, yeah, even to this day, I think you still encounter seed openers that you're just like, what? And you don't know how quite to react to it.
Oh, I just realized as Dedew went directly over with Bash Grenade to pick up that Frankie Walk XP. I don't think Moose realizes you can just get it with Bash Grenade. I didn't realize either. I was just like, oh yeah, of course he's going to kite the Frankie over. And it turns out to be a keystone as well, which is actually their second keystone. They currently only have one. But Dedew now having the second one, he's able to move on into the main area of Glades.
Yeah, this is probably our first real sign of Moose's inexperience with bash grenade seeds. Because it's like, why lure this Frankie over? You can just bash grenade up to this check.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing where like you have to do like dozens of seeds to run into like all the different weird ways that they can open up. Now he does manage to get his keystone, so he'll be able to continue to the left as well. And Dedew making good use of grenade already, going straight into the charge flame tree area. I think he picked up an ability cell and some XP, but not anything particularly compelling yet. And the tree itself is also an ability cell, so lots of ability points.
And
Sorry, I just somebody typed in chat. I think Moose might have forgotten he had found grenade, and then literally the next instant, Moose threw a grenade and bashed off it right in front of the door.
to be fair, I would not be surprised if you're just playing through and you're just like, oh god, what? This is not something I'm all that familiar with. I'm just going through and it's like, oh yeah, memory lapse. I have bash grenade. Why didn't I just do this?
Yeah, and I think most runners, one of the things that you struggle with when you are still getting started in randomizer is remembering what you picked up is actually really difficult. It's not just like a meme like, oh, ha, ha, ha. It's so funny you forgot what you picked up. No, you forget all the time because of the weird like order that things are coming. So
It's
Dedew's
even worse if you have played a seed previously.
That's true. I have no idea if like Moose might have done like a practice seed or something like that earlier. So Dedew coming over here to left glades, Moose following suit. They're picking up a bunch of XP. There was a health cell on Mapstone 1, some other stuff, but by and large, nothing really to write home about here. And we are going to get to check this XP near wall jump, and it's just an ability cell. And so with Bash Grenade, we have tons and tons of options, Ozzy, like just a ludicrous number of options.
They're still kind of stuck in this general area. They need to find either some more keystones to go for spirit caves, or they need to find. Ooh, Grotto is the water vein actually. That's I don't think anything in Grotto is completely outside of the reach with these current skill sets. So that's not going to take them long to find.
Yeah, some pickups in Grotto might be difficult, particularly for Moose. I know Dedew has probably done lots of this type of thing before, whereas Moose might not have. Of course, we don't want to assume it, so we'll see what what he's able to display here. But yeah, that first clue coming from tree number 3, the wall jump tree, and Moose picking that up as well. So they both now have that information. Or that's not true actually, because Moose has not gone to Charge Flame tree yet, I believe.
No, he has not. It is probably something he is going to go do. But my original thought here was that if they can get another energy, that'd be really, really nice for them. And there's another mapstone, so Forlorn.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit of a stretch for Forlorn to actually end up being necessary. It might be the intended thing in Logic, that's for sure. But I don't know when it's actually going to end up being necessary for our runners. Spirit Caverns, though, not really turning up much of anything for Dedew. He's kind of having a little bit of a think here. What is the next thing? He doesn't have keystones to continue up. He's kind of looking around. I mean, there might have been a missed energy cell somewhere
No,
along the way.
I don't think so. I think he's been very thorough, and it's Forlorn.
Could be. That seems plausible now. I think this is exactly the moment where it must be that. And Dedew might actually have forgotten about the Forlorn teleporter. And as you mentioned, you called out very, very importantly, he skipped it after the death earlier. And so he's going to have to go back and get it again.
Oh, it's horrible when you. Yeah, and he was like, "Oh right, I died. I don't have it."
Oh, he might not remember. He might just be going to BRB. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to see here. With Bash, okay, so he does have the ability to do the second mapstone here, but it's just
And it's just a keystone. Because correct me if I'm wrong, because they have Bash Grenade, the game does say put this area in logic, right?
That is correct. You can Bash Grenade over the boulder, so even though you don't, yeah, with Bash Grenade and Wall Jump, you can get up, so yeah. So Dedew's actually going to say, bunk the logic. I am going to go into Moon Grotto using Bash on this Frankie to stomp this peg, which is very much not an intended thing. It's a sequence break, but this is definitely a good way to avoid having to go to Forlorn. As for Moose, he is probably making that play.
Um,
Having a little bit of indecision on his end as well. I do see a teleporter as Dedew is making his way through Moon Grotto. We are having some mild technical difficulties, but we are working through those. And meanwhile, we're seeing Dedew picked up the water vein just a moment ago from the plant in Grotto, the top one.
making the playthrough here to check all these pickups in Forlorn is never a fun time.
All right, so Forlorn so far not turning up anything particularly key. Dedew already finding that oh so important water vein, the key to the first dungeon, going to allow him to enter the Ginso tree and get the Bash tree when he needs it. And then, wow, did he like sink out of bounds between those spikes? That was really weird. Holy crap, he did. What the heck, dude?
All
And that is
right.
double jump, Ozzy. He picks up double jump from the plant in this redirect area. Does to do.
Oh, that's just super nice to find. Double jump gives you so much air control and a little bit more verticality. It puts Ginso completely in logic now, or no, they have bash grenade. It was always in logic to be able to accomplish. But honestly, would you rather have double jump or bash grenade climbing Ginso?
Yeah, it just makes it so much easier. Dedu, in fact, is even going to go back for this ability cell because it was a keystone, and he's actually pretty short. So Moose, meanwhile, he has done his forlorn visit, and now he's a little bit unsure where to go. I don't think he ended up coming away with much of anything. He has one keystone. He's got a couple map stones, but those aren't really going to help him too much. So, what really was the logic? Was there something that he missed?
Let's see. Did he check the pickup by the entrance?
The grenade one. Yes, I believe that he did. Oh, sorry, by the entrance of Forlorn.
Yes.
I don't know that he went that far. All right, so he's gonna try the Glazer. He actually thinks that this might be it. I just have no
Technically,
idea.
this is completely in logic. You have bash grenade. You can get up here.
Yeah, that's
The
correct.
thing, yeah. So, um, he has wall jump as well. So he could check the other grenade location here in Glazer.
Oh, oh
I'm,
God, dude. It's
and there's
just a
another
keystone.
keystone.
That's only two. That's not enough for anything.
This has been a pretty horrible start for those who follow the logic diligently, especially somebody like me, where because this early on, when important skills are usually within reasonable places to reach in the early game, usually.
Yeah. This is tough. This is the kind of seed that really makes it tough for newer players because there's some sort of complicated weird thing that you have to do to follow the logic, or if you're experienced enough you can just do some sort of sequence break like Dedu did, and that leads him to stomp now, which is just a huge pickup. So Dedu is off to the race. He's got double jump, got stomp. Meanwhile, Moose is still struggling with this grenade pickup, which is no fun whatsoever to try to do with just the skills that he has. If he had double jump, it would be a lot easier, but as far as he knows, that's not in logic.
And it isn't in logic with this current opening set of skills.
Oof.
Yeah, not having double jump, not having glide really makes this an even more difficult thing to do, attempt trick to do.
All right, Dedu continues to explore Moon Grottos, collecting a bunch of nice little things. He got health regen 2 out of 3, which is just gonna give him a lot of health regen at a reasonable pace. Not like it's not going to be, make him like effectively invincible or anything, but it will refill his health reasonably quickly if he takes any damage. And he also got energy regen 1 out of 3, which is almost nothing, but it's better than 0.
Eh, it's infinitely worse than health regen, where you can barely survive with just a sliver of health with health regen, but a sliver of energy is useless.
So real quick, I direct your attention onto D's screen. You don't even get to see anything anymore because he already did the thing, but he did a cutscene skip just there. Very savvy play by Dedu, knowing that he has acquired the stomp skill that actually causes a cutscene trigger to spawn in that particular spot that he just went through. So he went ahead
He
and
gets it.
skipped it. Yeah, that's not it. That's not progression.
Okay, so that hurt. So what is it going through his mind right now? Because he does have access to the Gumon seal, so that means that you can leave the entrance of Forlorn and go back in. So that entire opening area is in logic.
That's correct. And perhaps he'll do that, but perhaps in the near future, maybe he'll kind of try to give up on this. Dedew, meanwhile, he headed on over to Swamp. He picked up the ability cell in the top left that normally you need Wind and Glide to get, but he just went ahead and picked it up with just Bash Grenade, clever usage thereof. And he is now heading straight into the Ginso tree. So Dedew's just, he's charging those skill trees. He's just going to get them out of the way. Again, the Force Trees mode that we play on requires that you collect the 10 skill tree locations plus Spirit Flame, even if they, don't actually have any important like pickups at them.
Yeah. And this allows him to, grab the pickups that are really fast and not out of the way to grab. Hopefully gets enough ability points, keystones, things he needs that will just help make routing a lot easier. And yeah, honestly, there's not a whole lot for him that he needs in order to finish the game.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. I think with the skills that he has, he could just finish. It wouldn't be the fastest possible thing, but it is definitely possible. So he could just go to the end. And there's a decent chance that along the way, you'll find some sort of other skill. For Moose's point, man, this is like worst case. In your first tournament race, to get a seed that has this obtuse of a start, it is really, really rough. Not at all easy to follow the progression of a seed like this. Even Dedew was confused earlier on, but because of that knowledge to be able to do a sequence break, he was able to just skip some of this crap while Moose, unfortunately, is still stuck here.
Yep, there was a keystone right there. That's his third one, I think.
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah, so he needs to get one more, and there it is.
Oh boy. If that's the progression, that's god awful.
This has been a really cool seed.
And keep in mind, he still doesn't have double jump. So he says, all right, I'm done. I got my 4 keystones. I'm going to go to Spirit Caverns. I'm going to open the door. I'm going to move on with my life. We are probably not ever going to find out what was at that door, Ozzy.
Probably not. And something I feel, man, I don't know. Could he have key duped with his current skills over in Spirit Caves?
You mean in Forlorn before he
No,
left? In Spirit Caverns, yeah, he can definitely key
Spirit
dupe.
Caves.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's actually like the only skill requirement to key dupe here is just having like wall jump or something to be able to navigate the area. Whether he knows how to key dupe or not, or thinks he should key dupe right now, that's a good question. Oh, wow, I totally missed your point, Ozzy. Yes, he probably could have just key duped and gotten through. So that probably suggests that he doesn't know how to key dupe, most likely.
Yeah, something that could have saved him a lot of headaches for sure. And I don't think key duping is all that difficult, but it is, again, a knowledge thing. And oh no, Dedew does not have enough keystones to get to the Bastry.
Well, you want to talk about key duping? You can key dupe there in Ginso. I'm sure Dedew knows how, but it is garbage. I'm sure he knows that as well, so he says no, thank you. Uh, wow, the Valley entry containing 2 keystones for Moose, so it's just like, it's almost like making fun of him right now. It's like, ha, you got your keystones, well, here's some more, buddy. Thanks, Randomizer.
It's such a good game. Fair to all. Enjoy. And we're gonna go ahead and see Dedew clean up, probably ending for keystones, which I wouldn't entirely blame him.
Okay, yeah, we also got a correction from the truck because I'm kind of an idiot today, but yeah, the dude was on the second keystone door, the one that doesn't suck to dupe. So he probably just said, that's enough. I don't need to continue.
Oh, right.
So taking an intentional death there just to get back to the above the drain here. So he's going to make his way into... no, actually, he just wanted to check the drain XP, and he is going to head back over to the left. I wonder if he'll go in the like all skills style swamp entry route.
I would not be surprised with that, just to get a way to get to another tree, helping him get that next important clue he wants. For now, I can just see him just be like, I don't want to do Sorrow without glide or charge jump or dash. Not having any of those at his disposal through that area makes it horrible.
It wouldn't be super fun, that is for sure.
I mean, if he gets Sorrow TP, that also would be acceptable.
Well, so far, he's getting a whole lot of nothing over here in this outer swamp area, but plenty more pickups for him to check. I mean, because he's been able to, quickly navigate the game world, he's been able to skip a ton of things. Moose, meanwhile, he's been working on the spider sack area, and so far he's gotten, again, a whole lot of nothing.
A lot of the progression was all the way over in Grotto. And this seed was cruel enough to make you key hunt in Forlorn in order to go through Spirit Caverns and then make your way all the way over to Grotto.
That's honestly one of the worst progressions I've ever seen in a seed. It's really bad.
Because there's all these like checks along the way you can make, and none of them paying off. Is just time wasted.
All right, so Dedew checked the drainless cell here in the swamp entry area, but it does look like he's not going. No, he is going to go ahead and he will use bash on this frog. If you don't have dash, then you can use double bashes to get him into position so that you can chase him into the water and take an intentional death to respawn him. Meanwhile, Moose, he made use of an energy glitch on his side. So again, a really good display of knowledge there to be able to open the 4 energy door in the spider sack area with only 3 max energy. And it was an energy cell, which is kind of hilarious.
I mean, that gives him 4 energy now, so checks out.
Congrats, you can open the door you just opened, as well as a number of other useful doors. So it should still be a really nice pickup for him and prevent him from having to do more energy glitches.
And makes his way up to the grenade door above the spider area, which is harder than it looks when you only have bash grenade.
Unfortunately, only yielding 75 XP, which is not really what he needs. He's got lots of XP. He's got lots of ability points. He's fine in that regard. It'd be really nice to get any progression whatsoever. I feel like Dedew is probably feeling the same right now. He is swimming in ability points. I mean, he has 19 Aussie, but what he doesn't have is glide. What he doesn't have is charge jump.
Things that would just make everything. Oh, and he really wants to find glide now. Sunstones and Sorrow.
Oh, that is just great. Just absolutely peachy.
Yeah. So there's a number of locations that are incredibly difficult to navigate without glide. That's possible to do with just damage boosting and charge jump, but he has neither of those things.
It's going to mandate a lot of searching for him. Now to do, he picked up Grove teleporter access inside Swamp, which is really, really nice. Just allows him to go directly here. He never had to watch this cutscene. His Spirit Flame is going to be broken for a little bit because of taking the teleporter to Valley, or to Grove, sorry, without having watched the cutscene. But he's just going to make do with that for a little bit. He doesn't really need to shoot anything here. And we're heading for the left side of the map.
He's got Stomp, he's got Double Jump, and he's got Bash. Yeah, all these checks here are currently within logic, so they could very well be hiding something he really wants to see.
Moose, meanwhile, covering some ground that, again, Dedew has covered before. He does not, appears, know how to make use of 3 bash grenades in order to get to the top left ability cell here in Swamp. Not a that is to say here in this like outer swamp area. Not a huge deal. Just one of those things that kind of you see the differences in experience and I mean, fortunately for him, it was nothing, so it's not a huge deal. I mean, it's not in
Yeah.
logic anyway.
Over in Deduce said he found double jump in the valley swim area. So that's a nice find when you already have double jump. So he could eventually get quad jump, which if you don't have glide, quad jump is not a bad replacement.
Yep. That is going to give him tons and tons of mobility. The dude is even going to go ahead and do this trick called Fast Stompless. So normally you got to break the rocks above Kuro's head in order to get the feather pickup, but he's going to go ahead and just stomp them. Redirect a shot at them and then stomp down to get away from it to unload a rock wall that allows the spider shot to hit the rocks, and now he'll be able to pick up feather. Well,
Yeah,
vanilla feather.
I still need to learn that. Because when you see a successful fast stompless, it's always super nice.
Actually, it doesn't save that huge of an amount of time in rando, but for a player of Dedew's caliber, it's always one of those like I want to save as much time as possible. I want to get the fastest time possible. But nothing on feather. We are heading into Misty Woods. Sans feather again. Misty Woods is not necessarily the most fun thing.
Well, he does have that extra double jump, which probably was one of the bigger deciding factors of him going in here. Because without air dash or glide, this can be really tricky to navigate through the spikes.
And the best part is he still is sitting on those 22 ability points. I don't know what he's planning to do with all these accumulated points. Like maybe he's gonna, I don't know, buy out the like ability point factory or something. But like, geez, he's loaded for bear right now.
Yeah, let's. I mean, the only reason why he's probably holding on to it is because he is thinking eventually zombie Ori.
Into sorrow with 22 AP. That's a possibility. It's just, oh god, that would just be awful in every way.
When you absolutely want to be sure you don't screw up zombie Ori, come with 22 AP.
It's worth noting, I'm pretty sure Dedu normally plays on controller, and so if he did want to do like a very complicated zombie Ori in, for example, the Spike Cave in Sorrow Pass, he would almost certainly need to switch to KBM for that, which he has been learning to do, so he's probably capable of doing. Moose, on his side, he did finally pick up Stomp from Death Gauntlet. He's even going to Sequence Break to pick up this underwater ability cell, but unfortunately, it's just 15 XP, so not even like a significant amount to make up for his efforts.
Yeah, but he's probably happy with Stomp because Stomp means that he can do a lot of things very efficiently. Stomp is also really, really nice for killing enemies fast too, which is something I really wish more people took advantage of.
Yeah, it's funny how infrequently it comes into play for that, even though it is like just an incredibly handy tool for damaging enemies, mostly because Ori is not a super combat heavy game. So that's Climb Tree for Dedu. He is up to 8 out of 10 trees left, and he's got 2 more to go. The 2 remaining are Grenade and Charge Jump, and Charge Jump is going to be the worst by far, so he's going to go ahead right now to Grenade first. And again, some sequence breaks will be required to get in here. He can stomp the floor, but he's going to have to probably Zombie Ori the... There's that forlorn teleporter. He's finally coming to claim it.
Yeah, I mean, it was in logic. Man, it only makes me wonder what the front of Forlorn was hiding.
Yeah, I think we're never gonna find out. Just never ever.
Yeah, but we are gonna see a bunch of checks over here. No, he's just gonna check that one and move over and do Zombie Ori.
Oh, in fact, he might not even do zombie. No, okay, he is gonna. I was thinking he might have been planning on doing the triple jump version instead, but he'll do the zombie ori. It's a pretty straightforward version. There you go. 2 ability points spent to just invulnerability through the laser, and now we are into the grenade area. 245 XP. Oh baby.
And he accidentally exited out, so he's gonna have to wait for his save to recharge and get rid of that stupid bird. I think we all have a passionate hatred for that bird.
Now he learns all of the abilities all the way up to ultra defense. Uh, and he's going to skip the cutscene and then head on into the grenade tree. Moose, on his side, actually, unfortunately, did not go to the left side of Grotto to get his double jump, so he is going to be short that for a little bit. He's also getting a little bit tenderized by these crushers, one might say.
Climb, Ori, climb!
I'm not sure if he might have been wanting to take an intentional death there, and then he just reconsidered it.
Right, because, yeah, mini boss is a thing. You have Stomp, though, so Stomp isn't, like, slow, but it can be a little tricky if you're not familiar with fighting with Stomp.
Yeah, he also has the like I think 2 Spirit Flame upgrades, so that just makes it slightly faster. And we will now see the mini boss pickup. It is just XP. We haven't seen any progression Ozzy in like the longest time, not since double jump, pretty much.
I want to say progression, like, if you're looking for charge jump or glide, it's probably somewhere in Valley. That is my general take from it. It also could be those 2 pickups that Dedew did not go after, because I'm pretty sure he could reach us.
Oh, that's perfect, dude. That's so perfect. The Valley Teleporter literally just across the valley from the actual Valley Teleporter. Oh, God.
This game has a great sense of humor, and by that I hate it for it.
The randomizer always has good comedic timing, dude, and in that case, that's perfect. So Dedew is going to go ahead and he double bashes his way into Sorrow Pass, a form of the Sorrow Bash technique where you just get in without having either the wind activated there or without having glide. Now he does have the wind activated, but without glide, it's not going to do much for him. So now we're going to see how he chooses to navigate Sorrow Pass. This is potentially a really interesting point for him. This could be very, very slow. But I mean, fortunately for him, Moose is only now collecting his 4th skill tree. So a lot of catching up to do on Moose's part, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these checks are going to be that are going to be possible, but some are absolutely out of the question without charge jump or glide.
Well, Bash gets you a lot of the way, and we're going to see a lot of the things that Bash is going to allow us to do here. So Dedew will make use of a Bash on that dropping slime to get up to this keystone. It's just an ability cell. He's going to do the same on the dropping slime again, twice actually. The first time to break that wall to the left, and the second time he's going to break a wall above and then use it to get height up there as well.
So we know that we're not going to find any of the skills that would have helped him here in Sorrow. He is just on a scramble looking for that Sunstone.
Well, I'm not sure that we know that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we didn't see in Misty, which Misty was very accessible, so that's one thing. Uh, there's a lot of stuff we didn't see in Misty, and then there's a lot of stuff we didn't see in Valley, and we still haven't seen that for Lorendor or what's outside it. So there's definitely some possibility that stuff is there, but there's also some possibility that stuff's in Sorrow, because it could have been, like, Glide could have been out there, and then Sorrow could have Charge Jump, for example.
Okay, let's say he has Wind Restored. So if he found Glide, that puts Misty in the logic and puts Sorrow checks into logic. then realistically, he charge jump and stuff could be in here.
So we have, as we think about those possibilities, of which there are many,
And
there's
he
this.
found it.
That's it, Ozzy. He's in go mode. He just needs to go get to that charge jump tree.
And why is he still climbing? Oh, that's right. He needs to do this. Oh God, he's gonna have to go through.
No, he's not. He's got charge jump. Oh God, what a video game.
No, I think he still needs to.
Oh, this thing. Oh yeah, no, but this is fine. Like this is easy with triple jump, and he has quad jump. Meanwhile, Moose is he made a trip back to the lower grotto area, so he has gotten to it where he's going to collect double jump, and he'll be able to get a lot more mobility now, and was probably soon head on over to the Ginso tree and can kind of follow this progression. But it is pretty much exactly as I was kind of guessing. Glide is somewhere else. Charge jump is right here.
Oh, this is nice to see, and a classic frog juggle. Though I'm surprised he didn't go back for the tumbleweed and have a nice little companion tumbleweed session.
He could, but I think in this case he's saying, I got enough health, I got ultra defense. I should be able to get enough distance with this bash glide and the million jumps that I have to be able to get over everything. And here we go. He's pretty much done already. There you go.
Nice. That is harder than it looks.
So that's going to do it for Dedew. He's going to be able to collect his 10th tree, and then he's going to be able to finish up. And with this set of skills, the final escape should be absolutely no problem for him. And he has 11 ability points on hand as well to do, I don't even know what with. He's just got every ability point there is, pretty much.
He's got every tree now. He is going to go finish this game. And Moose, I didn't feel like I had to say it, but there's no hope. There hasn't been much hope for Moose for quite a while for him winning this seed.
That's all right. I mean, we definitely, expected to see the much more experienced player Dedew have a significant advantage in that regard. But the cool thing from Moose that we've been able to see is his demonstration of a lot of knowledge accumulated in what could be a very short time. I guess I have no idea how long he's actually been playing the rando, but it's really cool to see that he's got a lot of knowledge of different tricks to make use of to still be able to do a pretty decent clear here. The problem for him in this seed was that it was just heinous, Ozzy. This was just a very rude seed.
It's one I have yet to see. I've seen early trips in the Forlorn before, but never one that's like, oh, you are looking for just keystones. Freaking keystones.
Ugh. Moose dealing with the mini boss in Ginso, as Dedew is going to deal with the other boss of the game, Door Warp, frame perfect technique to skip the entirety of the final dungeon, Mount Horu. He just needs to reload his game and press up on the first frame it loads, and if done correctly, there you go. Just teleport to the bottom of the dungeon.
The real final boss of this game, Door Warp.
And on Moose's side, we do finally see. I had looked away when Dedew picked up Wind Restored, but it was in the Ginso tree in the first Keystone section. So Moose gets that, and unfortunately, it will do him absolutely no good unless he finds Glide. And I have a feeling that he might want Glide a whole lot.
I mean, especially when he finds out that Sunstone isn't Sorrow, but at the same time, he's also going to see his opponent done here in a bit, and that might clue him into thinking, okay, if it's in Sorrow, then maybe it's in one of the easier spots.
Yeah, it always is a question as to whether a given runner. Oh, interesting. I like the intentional damage boost to break that. Oh, I guess that's actually his only way to break that wall. So the dude is the one who actually has awareness of things, and I'm just following along for the ride. A little bit of dirty water here, but Dedew has plenty of HP, and he will be able to easily tank all that. And a nice skip of the Kuro trigger, and he is basically done. There you go.
GG to do. This was a very interesting seed. to say the least.
I think you definitely have to say that the sequence break Dedew made, just not only, demonstrating kind of that difference in experience, but really just saying, I'm not going to be held up by this crap in Forlorn. And that saved him a ton of time. And, on Moose's end, having to go through all that was just really slow, time consuming, and also probably a bit like kind of demoralizing.
Yeah, it's a shame that ended up happening to any player that is less familiar with this game and doesn't like doing that sequence break into Grotto. I'm certainly one of those people that prefers to not sequence break into Grotto that way, but it was such a rude seed if you didn't.
So Moose heading on up into the top of the Ginso tree. So we'll see what's up here this time. Dedew pieced out earlier on, and so we'll get to find out. There's there's a plant up here that, oh yeah, no, of course he'll be able to reach it. He has Bash Grenade, so we'll see what that is. And with Stomp in hand, he is able to skip the intended means of breaking those barriers. But meanwhile, finishing up here is Dedew with a 46-46. GG to him. He will take his first victory in the tournament and move on to 1-0, while Moose will drop to 0-1.
And it looks like we're going to see a little bit of the Ginso escape here.
Awesome. I love this.
Music. Unfortunately, it's dirty water, so it doesn't look nearly as clean.
I'm sure Cleanfell won't mind.
But I'd be very interested to know what exactly here is in Ginso escape, so I'm actually going to be paying attention to him as he, getting a little close to that water.
This escape is a lot more fun to do sometimes when you have rocket jumps, which require the dash skill, and unfortunately we've not seen dash. Moose picking up some XP and a keystone so far. It takes a little bit of a, dips his little Ori hooves in the water, but does not die, and that's really the key. Continuing on up here, and we'll see what these next couple pickups are.
So far, just a bunch of XP and keystones, nothing too exciting. But we're on to the final two pickups, and there's a help cell.
I mean, I wouldn't complain about a 12th health cell, except, like, could you give us Glide maybe? No, you can't.
Well, no, can't get Glide. All right.
Well, on the bright side, this will give him direct access into Swamp, so he doesn't need to sequence break it. Actually, the funny thing, technically in the randomizer, using the... Oh, he's watching the cutscene. He actually... You need to skip this. It's really important to skip this, actually. If he doesn't, a bad thing occurs. Please skip.
Oh, okay, he did.
There's a weird randomizer quirk that if you don't skip that quickly enough, bad things occur. But yeah, getting into Swamp this way is technically a sequence break in the randomizer, actually, because of the fact that you can only do it one time and then you can Alt-R. So that's actually not in logic to do that.
All right, and it looks like we're going to see a forfeit from Moose.
Yep, completely understandable decision after 50 minutes of dealing with that. Seeing your opponent already finish up, just be like, oh my goodness, like, are you serious? So yeah, totally understandable decision.
In the meantime, we are joined by Dedew, the winner of this race. Congratulations.
Hi, thanks. Yeah, I don't know what I was supposed to do in Glade at the beginning, so I decided to sequence break.
You were supposed to go into Forlorn and fight keystones.
Oh. Yeah, okay. Why would I ever go there? I got it at the end.
Exactly, dude. Why would you ever go there? Well, let's go back to that beginning of the scene, because a couple things happened. Notably, you took two uncharacteristic time losses in BRB, and one of them was after you taken the roof XP, and then you didn't take it on the way back in, and that was the Forlorn TP. I assumed you remembered that, but then I guess I should ask that. Like, did you remember that, and what made you decide not to take that, and like, how did that go in your mind at that time?
Yeah, I remembered it, but like I didn't think it would matter. Like if I decided like if I needed it later, I would come back and get it, and I wouldn't like take the extra like 8 seconds or 16 seconds it takes to go get it again, since it wasn't
Yeah,
worth it in my opinion.
even if the logic says this is what you have to do in order to progress, you are still correct. It was not worth it. It was totally worth sequence breaking because everything that you needed in order to finish this seed was over in Grotto.
Oh, really?
I mean, you got your
Yeah.
water vein, you got your double jump. That was pretty much it.
Yeah,
We're good to
like
go.
when I found double jump, I was like, that was probably what Logic expected me to find down here in Grotto. Yeah, I was expecting like a 4 energy somewhere and then going down into Grotto probably. So it wasn't like a huge sequence break. That's what I was thinking. Don't know about the logic. It was kind of weird in this seed.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't really know
that's a great
sometimes.
description.
Well, it's a big sequence break in the sense that from what we could see of when Moose finally went through Forlorn, got the keys he needed to go through the Spirit Caverns door, and he's making all these checks along the way over to Iceless, and there is absolutely nothing. So the logic is wanted you to go through this entire area, find nothing, and to eventually make it to Grotto to find stuff.
Oh yeah, that's something.
So I want to ask
Yeah.
about. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was like, also I was looking for like glide or something, and like I cleared a big chunk of swamp and grotto, upper grotto, like hoping to find glide or something to help me with left side or left side TP actually, because those save a lot of time. So yeah, that's why I cleaned a lot of, like I took a lot of pickups on the right side before deciding to just go for trees because I didn't need anything else.
As far as we could tell, the places that make the most sense for glide or charge, for glide to be really was either back in Barrows. There's the 2 pickups plus the grenade pickup that you could reach, and lastly is somewhere over in Valley, closer around Forlorn, because that was completely in logic. You had Forlorn Teleporter, you had the Gumon Seal. You could get out and go back in freely. So that was completely logic.
Yeah. But then again, like since I had Bash and Stomp, I knew that like going through Valley was in logic too. I mean, it made sense to do. So I just decided to go for trees in the end and didn't really care about pickups anymore.
That all makes a ton of sense. The question I had been about to ask was about like how you decided whether you were in go mode or not, and how you thought about checking additional pickups. So that makes a ton of sense. I I guess one question I want to ask is kind of about like how you approach a tournament race against any opponent in general, but then in particular an opponent that you don't really know anything about. Like you had no real like way to know anything about like Moose's play level, at least as far as I know, unless you talk to him, obviously. So do you in general like do any kind of checking up on your opponent and like metagaming them? And then in particular for this one, was there any difference in how you had approached that?
Well, I had asked him a couple questions, like on Discord when we tried to schedule a match. So I knew he has been playing Rando for about a week, so it's hard to improve quickly at the start, but then it's possible too if you have someone helping you. And like I've seen it on like Monday when we were playing against Infinity Death Gauntlet, I believe. Like he had been playing not for that long Rando, and they both did amazing. So like there's not really any way to know what the opponent's like how good he is in beforehand.
Yeah. Turns out the knowledge and experience with this seed was one of the bigger deciding factors of time loss. So, grats to you for this win. This was a garbage seed for anybody to deal with if you wanted to stick to logic.
Agreed. Echoing that, congrats on the win, Dedew. We will be actually, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. And the reason we're going to wrap up right now is that on Speed Gaming 2, right at this moment, starting right now, in fact, already started, go, 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 it is scrolling up. Hobbs versus Ushebti. There we go. I scrolled too far. So yeah, go check that out. In half an hour on this channel, we will have another race as well. It is going to be between Team Duo Leaves, that is Aiko and Skullblocka, versus Team BRB of Mad Insane and Fluffy Prower. So that's in half an hour here on Speed Gaming 3. But right now, Hobbs versus Ushebti on Speed Gaming 2. Go check it out. And honestly, it's been a pleasure joining you today. Any final thoughts?
Burn the seed.
Agreed. Thank you to Iced and Raziel in the truck today, and thank you to Richard for restreaming, and of course Dedew and Moose for putting on a great show for us. Looking forward to seeing you guys in the future. Thank you all for watching. See you in a bit.